Hello everyone, welcome. This is Voices, and I'm Eric D. Clark, and I welcome you on behalf of your family at the Atlantic Caribbean Union and its Communication Department. We represent the Cayman Islands, the Turks and Caicos, and of course, the beautiful islands of the Bahamas. We greet you on this special weekend when the country and the world are celebrating Mother's Day. We want to take this opportunity on behalf of our administration at the Union and the fields with which we represent to say Happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers. We recognize that mothers play such an important, major, significant role in the society. And one says, as the mothers go, so goes the family, and so goes the country. So, from your family, Happy Mother's Day. In studio with me, I'm delighted to say welcome to one of our lay women, our lay persons, Sister Anita Hudson. And she has a rich legacy, a rich heritage that I'm putting on her. I know she's a little nervous, but we want to welcome you. How are you doing, Sister Anita?
Fine.
And welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And we just wanted to talk. You're a mother, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
And how many children do you have?
8.
You have 8 children?
Eight children.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Do you remember their ages ranging from what to what? I'm putting you on the spot.
My oldest one is 42.
42?
Yes.
Did you say 42?
42.
All right, good.
And the last one is 17.
17. I must say congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Do not look like anybody who has a 42-year-old. We say to God be the glory.
Yes, for great
Things he has done. All right. And so with those 8 children, how does it feel being a mother? A mother.
It's good, you know. Because out of those 8 children, I have 18 grand now, and I have 1 great grand.
Okay.
So, as I was telling somebody yesterday, that I will never ever be lonely.
Okay.
I will never be lonely.
Wow.
Yes.
And so with your grandchildren and then a great grand as well?
Great grand, yes.
Wow, that means you're rich also. Not
Yes.
even if not financially, just that heritage,
Yes.
that blessing.
I love.
Wow.
I love because
Okay.
my grandchildren love being around me. So, you know, that gives me joy. Just having them around.
What would they call you?
Go say Grammy. I still working it out with my great grand because he seems to get me and his Grammy mixed up, so he called me Grammy also
Okay,
sometimes.
okay.
Yeah. And so I told my daughter yesterday, we gotta work that one out.
That's right.
You gotta say Nana or Mama or something.
Okay.
You know, but we can work that out.
Beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful. Like you said, you'll never be lonely. They're all
Never,
around you.
never,
All right, that's
never,
excellent,
yes,
man. I just want to commend you. That must be special. You
yes,
know?
yes, it
Okay.
is.
And I just wanted to ask about this whole business of motherhood. You know, we say the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world.
Yes,
All
yes.
right. What do you understand from that? Is that a true saying? You know, what do you think it's saying?
Well, the mother in the home, you know, they say the father is the leader, but, you know, in some way I think the mother is, because even when the father ain't there, the mother still have to take the lead.
That's right.
You know, and she have to instill in her children moral standards, values, to go there and live life to be decent and respectable and moral citizens in the country. You know, and like I always tell the children, manners and respect take you through the world.
That's it.
And you have to instill these things. You have to teach your children these things, that at the end of the day, you know, that those children then would be good citizens in the country.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me about a little bit about your spiritual upbringing. You a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church?
Yes.
Where did that begin for you?
Well, I wasn't always a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I got baptized. My first baptism was when I was like 9. I think I was like 9 years old.
Okay.
And I got baptized in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and it was through Pastor to mother.
Okay.
She used to come around and she used to take us to church. But before she did that, it was two ladies from Grandstand. I can't remember their names now. They used to come around and they used to bring the lessons.
Okay, the Bible lessons.
Yes, and I love that.
Voice of prophecy.
Right, and we loved that. That was, we couldn't wait for them to come on Sabbath evenings and to bring those lessons.
Okay.
And I always, the minute they come, I was like, I was excited. And through the lessons, and then going visiting crusade, I ended up getting baptized.
Good.
And it was me and several of the children in my neighborhood.
Okay.
But I'm the only one who stayed.
Wow.
The only one of the whole group who stayed, who still here today. Yes.
And most times folk may find maybe a husband in church or a wife in church, a spouse. Were you one of those?
Well, you know, I came to the church, I stopped going to church for a while, and then I end up, I meet my husband, and he was a Seventh-day Adventist. He asked me, he said, what church do you go to? I said, you know, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. And he said, you know, I was born a Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay.
So when we got married, both of us, Pastor Roach baptized us all over again.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got baptized. That was my second baptism.
Excellent.
And that's how I ended up in Centerville Church. But my first church, my first membership was, I think it was Maranatha. That was the last crusade they had where the gym is now.
That's right.
Today, that was the last crusade. Yeah.
Okay.
Right there.
I remember that.
Yes.
That Maranatha used to worship in there.
Yeah.
And as a young chap, when I came from the family island, we also went to Maranatha, which was in the Bahamas Academy gym. Those were the days. That's right. We had a couple of older persons that you may not remember, but one was a brother Lundy. And then there was a brother Russell, and then we had the Lockhart family. And so we had individuals who used to come through, and you remember them for the discipline that they had, you know, knew the Bible inside out, it seemed. And they were really their staunch individuals teaching us and showing us the way. So that really was interesting.
And I remember one Pastor Thompson.
That's right.
Yes, I remember him. Because he sometimes, when Sister Toot didn't pick us up, he would come and pick us up on Sabbath morning to come out.
It's a light-skinned gentleman.
Right.
His name is Pastor T.W. Thompson.
Right.
Trevor Thompson. Yes, we remember him. He served as the pastor at one time at the Centerville Church.
Right.
He also served as the president of the Cayman Islands mission at that time. And he came in not too long ago when Pastor McKinney, when he passed for the funeral. And so we remember individuals like that. Isn't that incredible? That persons from way back you remember, you know? Okay. And so that was the early portion of it. Your children, some of them, and your children, some of them are in church today?
Some of them. All of my children was baptized, but some still there. Some still there.
Excellent.
And I'm hoping and praying for the rest to come back.
There you go. As a mother, you can never give up on your children, hey? Okay.
No.
All right. Sister Anita, you have had how many children? 8? All right. And you have, where does your husband fit in all of this? Is he alive?
No, my husband died about 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yes. My husband, he got married. I had children before.
Okay.
My children, the children I have now, I have 3 children from my husband. That belongs to my husband, yes.
And so and I offer you my sympathies, okay? We offer you sympathies. So what you're saying to us now is that for a period of that, you've been like a single parent, raising those children. And that's where I wanted to get to, hey? And that's not the easiest thing,
no.
Wow.
No, it was difficult. It was hard. But I was tough.
Okay.
I was tough because at some point some people used to say, Nita, you too tough for these children. But then, you know, and I look around and I realized the father wasn't there, and I didn't want my children to go there and just run the streets and do you know, all kind of foolishness and nonsense and wreak havoc and thing. You know? And you remember back when the gang was so, I mean, gang still around, but it was really, really
like prevalent.
Yes.
Right there in your face almost.
My children, two of my sons got involved, and I told them, I said, listen here, you didn't born no children, you didn't make no children,
okay.
You don't have the rights to nobody's life. God didn't give you the rights, God didn't leave you in charge of nobody's life, and so you can't take nobody's life, and I will never allow you to be a statistic. You will never be a statistic.
Okay.
On the streets. Nobody gonna come and tell me my son gets shot down on the street.
Right. That's right.
And I was so firm with them, and they came out. Beautiful. My oldest son went away to school, and he took up architecture drawing.
Okay.
He did that, and my second son, he was in and out, but he leveled off.
Okay.
Now he does construction.
Beautiful.
You know, and he can't wait till the night to try to get in.
All right.
You know, he said, Mommy, I don't have time for that foolishness anymore. So he don't bother with that anymore. And all my children, them, my sons, them, my younger son, well, he never even bothered getting involved with that. So, you know, God was good in the midst of it. It was rough, but God was good.
Okay.
God was good.
If you were not firm, your children would not have turned out that way.
No, they wouldn't have.
Wow.
They would have. And one thing my mother taught me. My mother used to pray for all of us individually, all my children, all of her children, all our grandchildren, one by one. She would anoint us and pray for us.
Wow.
And I teach my children to pray. I teach even right now my grandchildren that I have, my children that live around me. I wake them up every morning, and I make them pray before they go out.
Exactly.
Out there, I make them pray.
Okay.
Every day.
And that will help them.
Yes.
It will help them for this day, every day that they can see that and feel that and experience that. And then when they become older, just like how you were saying, your mom taught you how to do this, they will teach their families how to do the same thing.
And even now, my children, one of my daughters, she moved to Canada, and her daughter, and when I talked to them on the phone, I said, Joette, don't forget God.
Okay.
Don't forget God.
Wow.
Find church, Adventist church, and make sure you go to church on Sabbath.
Okay.
So she said, Mommy, yes, we looking.
Okay.
But Mommy, we don't forget to pray.
Okay.
You know, my son, when he, he travel around sometimes to the family islands to work, and he, and I said to him, I say, you praying? And he says, yes, Mommy.
Okay.
Mommy, that's what you taught me, Mommy. You don't have to worry about me.
Okay.
Mommy, I was listening. I just pray, Mommy. I pray all the time.
Right.
I said, that's all I want to know.
Okay.
Make sure you keep God in front of you.
Beautiful.
Because you can't make it out there without God. You can't make it without God. You need God every minute. So make sure you pray every single day.
All right.
Before you get on those planes, you pray.
Sister Anita, you don't have a PhD degree.
No.
You don't have a bachelor's degree.
No.
Okay? But you have God.
That's right.
And you've passed that on to your children.
Yes.
So it's not the academics per se, wouldn't you say?
No.
It is that relationship?
You need that relationship.
Okay.
You can't do without it. You can't make it without it. You have to have a connection with God in order to make it through, or else you will fail.
Okay.
You will fail.
Which church do you go to now?
I'm at Message of Hope now.
Message of Hope
Message of Hope, yes.
If we saw you coming to Message of Hope, how would we recognize you?
Well,
a vehicle and what?
well, the people say when I come to church, they know that church coming because I have the crowd. I always have the crowd, and then they look for the big heart.
Beautiful. All right.
Yes.
I do remember, and that's why I asked.
Yes.
And whenever you see Sister Anita, there's always a crowd. She
That's
makes
right.
sure that her children, her grandchildren, and all the community,
Yes,
right?
I bring
Whoever
them all,
will,
yes.
they come, right? And I think that's such a beautiful testimony. And then you can't beat her dressing as far as that hat and dress coordination with that shoes. And we just love it. We laugh and we have a ball, but we love what we see with Sister Anita, and she puts God first in
that's
everything, right?
Yes.
Isn't that so? That small little car. Now, you didn't also grow up and live in Lightfoot Key or PI or any. You live in the, what they call that?
Well, they call it the ghetto.
The ghetto?
Okay. Yes, I born there, grew there, I get married, I came out and went back in there.
Okay.
Yes, and that's where I am today.
All right. So, Two Chop Corner.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
God is able to work, and you can get to heaven from anywhere.
That's right.
Even from Two Chop Corner.
That's right.
All right. Beautiful.
That's
I like
right.
that.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break right now. We'll be right back. We've been talking with Sister Anita Hudson from the Centerville/Message of Hope Church. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
My name is Tiara Murray, a member of Grantstown Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Bahamas. The main words of encouragement that I have for those who are pursuing their education at non-Adventist universities and schools is to remember the close connection between truth and love. You want to be able to love those that you interact with, your colleagues and faculty members, and to also share the truth and love. Don't be afraid. God is able to take the little that you have and make it much. And He says that His strength is made perfect in our weaknesses. And so even if you don't know it all, that's okay. God will take the little that you have and multiply it to do a great work.
Welcome back. This is Voices. I'm Eric D. Clark, and we're just delighted to greet everybody on this Mother's Day weekend, and we trust that you have enjoyed, and we look forward to taking care of our mothers, all right? Every day should be Mother's Day and Father's Day, but this weekend we celebrate with the mothers. Hats off to you. In studio, Sister Anita Hudson from the Message of Hope Seventh-day Adventist Church. When they see her, they say the church is coming now, okay? Sister Anita, God has blessed you. You have worked with your hands.
Yes.
How has that been? What has He done for you?
Well, God has blessed me with so much. I always say, God, when He started blessing me, He didn't want to stop.
Okay.
You know, so He blessed me to do so much things. I do poetry. I do dressmaking.
Okay.
I build furniture from scratch.
Okay.
I do every area of upholstery. I do draperies, everything. And the reason why I could wear those big hats, because I could take an old mash-up, beat-down hat and turn it into a brand new hat.
Is that so?
That's right.
You do it yourself?
I do it myself.
Oh,
So it's if it old Steve McKinney, when he used to do commercials for me, he always would say, he called me the furniture doctor. He say, if Anita can't fix it, carry down the Harold. It can't be done.
The furniture doctor.
So I like
Beautiful.
picking up. I like old things and bring it back new,
Okay.
giving it back life.
Okay.
You know, I like working with my hands.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
Have you been able to do anything in the church in that respect?
oh yes, all the time.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I try to keep Message of Hope looking like a palace.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
You know, we like having that looking so nice and pretty. We could come and worship comfortably.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Now, I know you don't want to blow your own horn, but what have you done at Message of Hope in terms of with your hands and your creativity that God has blessed you with?
Well, before we get these new chairs now, I was able to refurbish all the chairs what was in the choir loft.
The choir loft.
I did all all the valances over the windows.
Okay.
And all the whole of the backdrop.
The backdrop
The
as well.
backdrop.
Okay.
All the floral arrangements in there.
The floral.
And
Okay.
everything I did in the hall.
Okay.
In the hall.
All of the decorations
drapes and the
drapes.
decorations.
Wow.
And then I like to change them up sometimes so we could, you know.
That's
I
right.
like to change it up sometimes so we could look it pretty and smiling,
There you
know.
go. There you go.
Yes.
Even the chairs that the ministers and elders sit
Yes,
on, you have done those as well.
all of them, yes, all of them.
And I just want to say to
Yes.
folk, if they've not been into Message of Hope as yet, they need to see
Yes.
Message of Hope.
Yes.
It changes right before your eyes,
Yes.
right? Like you
Yes.
say, 1 month it may be this way, and the next month it's another way.
Yes.
And the church does not pay you for that.
No, I do it. I like doing it, you know, so it gives me a joy when I could do that. It make me feel good
Okay.
when I could do that. So
Okay.
I don't do it looking for money. I do it because I love doing it.
Okay.
I love what I do.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I remember even the fellowship hall at the
Yes,
church also,
yeah.
that you guys totally renovated
and the pastor study.
And that's
Yes,
right,
that's
and the pastor study.
the pastor study,
In fact,
yeah.
the pastor study was an area of controversy for some
Yes.
people, because when you go in and sit in those nice soft
Yes.
pews, they had a problem with the
Yes.
chairs being so nice and soft.
That's
So we commend you for that, man.
Yes.
And God has blessed you.
Oh yes, yes,
He's
yes.
blessed you.
Oh,
If
yes.
people had given you money, that would not suffice.
No,
Wow.
no.
Okay.
I was happy doing it. Yes.
I suspect, though, that just as God has blessed you, it has not always been a bed of roses for you. Am I right about that?
No,
With the children, with work, with everything,
Yes.
things have not always been easy. Yeah?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Let me take you back to something. The 1st of February, 2017, which is this year,
Yes.
something happened.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
yes. That was a terrible day for me. I was downstairs in my house working, trying to finish off some work, and my son have seizures. I normally hear him when he having seizures, but for some reason I didn't hear him this day, and I just hear him saying, "Mommy, your house on fire." I say, "Well, house on fire?" So I really, you know, it didn't hit me at first, and I just break off running. I run up the stairs. When I get halfway up the stairs, I say it again, "Mommy, your house on fire." Times I get up the stairs, there's bedroom right next to the stairs. The fan was on fire. The blanket he was covered with was on fire. His clothes, one side was on fire. Fire was like here, there, everywhere. And I started to panic, and you know, I freeze. Then they say, "Hold on, Anita, you gotta catch yourself. You gotta catch yourself, you know, you gotta do something." So I went in one of the bathrooms upstairs, no water.
Ooh.
I went in the next bathroom, no water. None of the water, no water's coming upstairs inside the house. Trying to out the fire, and then I wasn't thinking, because I didn't think to smother it. But it was so much fire here, there, and everywhere. Even if I had smothered one, you know,
That's
the
right.
fire was there. So then he started getting all, he started getting and just like he going out his mind. And, you know, and I hold him and I shake him. I say, "Wano, get the children out the house. Hurry up, get the children out the house."
Okay.
And he was still there turning around, and I grab him and I push him and I said, "Get the children out of the house." You know, I start praying. I say, "Oh God, my house on fire." I said, "God, please, please, Jesus, don't let my house burn down. Please don't let my house burn down." And after I see the fire was so much, I tried to get out. I come out the house. We came out with just what we had on. And I get outside. Another one of my son, he went up on top of my daddy them house, and he broke the glass, which was a terrible thing he shouldn't have do.
Okay.
But no, we wasn't thinking. All we know, we wanted out the fire.
Right.
And he broke the glass, and the oxygen, when it hit the fire, he said he watched that fire walking down the hallway upstairs.
Right.
So the fire was all over the place. We called the fire engine. The fire engine come. When they come, this end was blocked up at the corner, the next end was blocked up. So they had to wait for them to move. And time as they get there, the whole top floor was engulfed with fire, with flames. And I was crying so much, and the ambulance came, and they put me in the ambulance, and they took my blood pressure, and the lady said, "Miss Hudson, your blood pressure is so high. We need to take you to the hospital."
Okay.
I said, "I don't want to go to the hospital." She said, "We need to take you to the hospital." I said, "I don't want to go to the hospital." She said, "But you need to go to the hospital." I said, "No, Mom, I'm not going to the hospital. I could be all right." So she had me sign the paper. I signed it. I just touched her, and I said, "I know what to do."
Wow.
I said, "I know what to do." She had to move the ambulance because she was blocking me, so I was still in the back of the ambulance.
Right.
And I just hear a voice said to me, "Thank me and praise me."
Yeah.
And I say, "Thank you." How could I thank and praise God during this kind of time and my house burning down? I said, I know you're supposed to thank God in all things, but now the house on fire, still on fire.
Yes.
So I just started thanking God, and I started praising God, and I started saying, "Lord, you know the reason why." I say, "Lord, you give it and you take it away." I say, "Bless the name of the Lord."
Wow.
I say, "God, I don't know the reason why. You know the reason why."
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And then at that time, I had to decide my mind whether I can hold on to that worrying about that house,
Right.
my house burning down, or I gonna try to praise God
Wow.
through this and allow God to fix this for me. So you know what I did? I leave that right in the ambulance.
Okay.
I come with the ambulance and I stopped crying.
Wow.
I stopped crying. My neighbors, them didn't want me to go back down the road. They said, "No, Miss Nita, don't go back down there. Say, you should go down by your sister's house and you should sit down there." I said, "No, I have to sit right here. I got to watch this house burn down.
Okay.
I have to watch this house burn down." And they was like, they was looking like I was crazy. But you know what, Pastor Clark? I felt like the Lord wanted me to sit there, to go through that, so that I could encourage somebody else.
Wow.
Because God knows the reason for everything. He knows, and that's the only way I could encourage somebody.
That's it.
Because I could come to you when you're going through your situation,
That's right.
and I could say, "I understand," but I don't really understand if I ain't been through it.
That's it. Oh, wow.
I have to go through it, and then I could minister to you from my heart.
Yes.
Because I know the feeling.
Right.
So I know you get through it. I understand your feeling. Because I done been there and done that. So now I know, when you go through it, I can put my hand around it and I can say to you, "Pastor Clark, trust God.
Yes.
The Lord will deliver you.
Something
He will bring you through." And then I just had this faith, And when all the church members came around and other people came around and they look at me and they said, "But look at you,"
That's right. Yes.
Because I wasn't crying anymore. And I don't feel like I had a need to cry anymore because then I know within my heart, and I felt like within my heart, God is going to work it out.
And He always does.
Yeah, He always does.
All right.
And I know that I know He get to build our house
right.
back.
Okay.
I know He going to work it out, that I'm going to get my house back.
Your faith is put to the test.
Oh, yes.
And you have not given up on
No,
God.
sir. No, sir.
Is there a word of a song or anything like that that comes to your mind? Can you think of anything?
When I was going through, and every time, even today, even all now, when I go through, this song just keep coming in my heart, that the Lord gonna work it out.
You'll make a way.
He can make a way.
Lord.
Where there seems no way, He can make a way.
The Lord will make
He
a
will
way.
make a way.
Somehow.
How you gonna make a way? And I know He gonna make a way. And I believe it. And I trust in God. And I know that at the end I'm gonna have a big testimony. I'm gonna be able to testify how God bring me through. He bring me through.
Beautiful. My brothers and sisters, friends, and all of you who've been watching Voices, we appreciate the real life testimony of Sister Anita Hudson, and we just want to say thank you so much for sharing. We concur with you that the Lord will make a way somehow. Till next time, on behalf of Brother John Garcia, the Communications Department, Dr. Cheryl Roll, and the Atlantic Caribbean Union, we thank you for watching Voices, and remember, the Lord will make a way somehow.